It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report.
As I travel around the country, a lot of folks ask me, what is your favorite lake to fish anywhere in the country? I'll tell you what, if I had to choose only one lake to fish the rest of my life, it very well might be the lake you're looking at just over my right shoulder. I'd like to welcome you into beautiful Table Rock Lake, located just outside Branson, Missouri. This lake has got absolutely everything an angler could possibly want. It's got the scenic Ozark Mountains all the way around it, crystal clear water, and several species of game fish, including largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, spotted bass, walleye, white bass, crappie, catfish. It has everything you could possibly want for an angler. So on today's show, we're going to go out with one of my great friends down there, Stacy King. Has been fishing professional bass tournaments for many years. Got a beautiful nitro boat we're going to fish out of. It's going to be a great day headed into the fall. And while we're doing that, we're sending you around the region for your latest fishing reports from Oklahoma, Louisiana, Texas, and all along the Texas and Louisiana Gulf Coast. So we're going to go climbing the boat with Stacy King. When you see us next, we'll be chunking and winded. Right now, though, here's Julie with your weekend planning.
I do not have good news for you weekend anglers. The Salooner tables are forecasting poor conditions for both Saturday and Sunday, but the best times to take place around sunrise and sunset. Look for the sun to rise at 7:19 with sunset happening at 7:15. And evenings will include a crescent moon 36% illuminated. We'll be right back with all of the current fishing reports from around the Southwest. And I'll have this week's Whataburger Ask the Pro question from a viewer in Oklahoma.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Jean LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. By Motor Guide Trolling Motors, engineered for anglers. And by Nitro Performance Bass Boats, pure performance.
Right there, straight down.
Oh man, that's a nice
one.
Straight
down. Look at this.
I threw out there and got hung up.
All right.
Barry catches a big one.
All right, we got something started here.
Look at that.
All right, as you can see, we've made it out onto Table Rock Lake. And this is exactly my preference if I had my choice to catch smallmouth bass. And as you can see, we've made it out on the boat with Mr. Stacy King right here behind us. My favorite fish that swims on the entire planet. Let that one go back.
That's funny how you had a bite, dropped that thing back, and he bit it again, didn't you?
Absolutely. Stacy, you might just kind of start us off here. Set our setting for us. It's hot, dead calm, bright sky. What are the fish doing right now?
Well, there's a lot of fish out in the 20 to 25 foot zone. There's a little bit, a little bit of a thermocline there. A lot of smallmouth and spotted bass and some largemouth out there too. And what they do when you get a day like this, when it's so bright outside, they look for shade and they'll get down around the base of those trees. There's a lot of cedars and old oak trees and stuff that are still under the water even 50 years after Table Rock was impounded. 50 or 60 years, there's still a lot of cover under the water, and we're going along just pitching jigs out and casting short casts and shaking those baits down in those trees, and that's where they're at and that's where they're biting.
Well, that's a big jig, and I'll just give you a quick look here. This is a big 1 ounce jig. It is a big dude, and we do that for a specific purpose. We want that bait to get down in 25 feet quickly, and we want it to stay in these treetops and see if we can catch one that way. So we're just going to be fishing. As you can see, we're nowhere near the shore. We're out in open water. And we're going to try to catch, could be smallmouth, could be spotted bass, could be a largemouth. But my preference is that wily brown fish like there. Stay with us. We're out here with Stacy King. We're going to have a great day today, and you'll see whatever happens. Right now, let's get your fishing report started around the region, and let's begin in Oklahoma with Gary Dollar.
Hey, had visitors this week in the way of Jeff and Nathaniel Samsel from Georgia. Jeff is an outdoor writer, writes for a number of fishing publications. I'm sure you've read some of his work. He and his son Nathaniel are great fishermen. We fished Okmulgee and 10 Killer And what we learned on both lakes are things that I think that you can use to duplicate in many places across the state at this particular time. Now for the first time, we're starting to see the water temps get and stay in the upper 70s. That's going to be nice. That's going to help out a lot. At Okmulgee, we had our best luck throwing a weightless salt flicker right against the edges of the willow grass. Let it sink, twitch it a couple times, the largemouth were jumping on it. Biggest about 4.5, 5 pounds, a beautiful fish. Most of them were small, 3/4 to a pound, maybe 1.25 pounds, big fun. Okmulgee, we also caught some really nice black crappie, swimming a Bobby Garland baby shad in front of those grass beds and over some of the grass, 3.5, 4 foot of water. Again, some really nice fish. That was a fun way to catch those crappie. 10-killer, mid-lake area all the way to the dam, super clear. Found some color around the Pettit Bay area. We spent most of our time there. Now big balls of shad are kind of staying in that upper column of water right to the surface down about 3 or 4 feet. You could get in the back of the creeks or along some of the edges, throw a 4 or 5 inch soft plastic finesse worm in those balls of shad, catch some nice largemouth doing that. You can get out on the points, 14 to 15 foot of water, or the break lines near those points, 14 to 15 foot of water, fish vertically with a jigging spoon or a 3-inch Bobby Garland slab snare, caught some really nice fat spotted bass. Great time fishing in Oklahoma right now, but one thing about it, you can't catch them if you don't go.
I've got one there.
Straight down,
Yeah,
look at
in
that.
the tree. I saw that tree on my depth finder and I dropped that river bug down in there on that Zika rig.
Little smallmouth.
Smallmouth. Come here.
All right.
Yeah, that's another one of my little tools I use to catch these pretty small ones with is that Zika rig. I'm gonna let that little fish go. I'll show it to you here. It's a interesting concept the Japanese fishermen came up with. It's just an offset hook, and then you put a sinker. I use a bell sinker in open water, and I use a skinny sinker in cover so it goes down through it. I'm fishing a Bass Pro river bug on there, and man, that thing really catches.
So the concept is that bell sinker.
Yeah. When
drop it
when that drops, that thing drops straight down through cover. You know, a Texas rig will kind of have a tendency to come down flat, you know, and this thing goes straight down to the bottom. And then when that sinker hits the bottom, this thing's still free. It's almost like a drop shot, only it's right on the bottom. There he is, Barrett.
Hey, you got him. There he is.
Pulling.
What is it?
Oh,
Smallie.
nice.
Smallmouth. Decent one. Look at this.
Ate that jig. Whoa, come in here. Come here. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Look at that. There is a table rock smallie right there.
Yeah.
Look at even how dark he is on his belly right
Yeah.
there. That fish is, look at that. That's a dark colored fish all the way around. What a gorgeous specimen that is.
Pretty bass.
That's why I come to Table Rock, just to see that done right there.
Yeah, I love to catch those things. Grow up.
Welcome back, everybody. We are on Table Rock Lake just out of Branson, Missouri. This is Stacy King. He just caught and released that nice smallie right there. We are out in about 25 feet of water fishing isolated timber. You got to be really perceptive when you're fishing along here, Stacy, and watch for these underwater trees. Those are where the fish are going to be holding.
That's exactly right. You know, I either do it visibly, I see them ahead of me, that you'll kind of see a little yellow spot in the water and that'll be that tree, or I'm watching my depth finder all the time, my LCR, and I'll see them on that. And then a lot of times we'll just drop vertically down, just drop the jig over the side, feed line to it, let it hit the bottom, and then just pick it up and shake it a little bit.
I want to mention one other thing real quick here. If you want to come to this lake, you can actually go to Big Cedar Lodge, which is located which part of the lake?
It's on the Long Creek arm of the lake, just south of Branson, Missouri.
And so you can rent a fishing boat. They'll rent you one of those Bass Tracker aluminum boats, fully rigged out, depth finder, trolling motor, live wells, everything you need. And you can go out and have a great chance to catch some of these fish. And you might talk to some of the people around the marina, depending on what time it is. Fish may be shallower than this, but right here it's still warm. Fish are out off the shore on these isolated trees. Let's move along right now to Louisiana. Get you checked in for this week's reports from Cajun Phil and Kevin.
Hey friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox Louisiana Fishing Report. I tell you what, right now there's so much going on here in Louisiana. It's kind of, what are we going to talk about this week? Let's start off with gator season. Gator season's been on now since the first of the month, and they have almost all limited out. And this year they averaged over 8 foot per gator, which is really awesome. Let's go to the bass fishing right now. We had some guys that fished Falls River this week. They caught them late in the afternoon. They probably averaged over 3 pounds per bass, so they were doing really good. I asked them what they caught them on. They said mostly on spinnerbait, so that's a good deal. Around the docks was the best place to fish. As far as saltwater fishing goes, talk to Bourgeois down there in Lafitte, Louisiana. Captain Tofield said they're catching both speckled trout and redfish. He's still got the plane. It's going down to the islands, and they're doing some wade fishing. And I just got a call from Captain Kevin a while ago. He's having a good day right here on Calcasieu Lake, catching flounder, he's catching reds, and he's catching speckled trout. He said they're having a good time. They are catching theirs on live shrimp, under a poppy cork for the reds and the specks, on the bottom for the flounder. Right now, folks, fishing's good all across the state of Louisiana. You want to make a trip? Contact old Cajun Phil.
There's one right there down in that cedar tree.
I see the tree right there.
Come on.
Is he out? There he is. Look at this.
Yes.
What is that, largemouth?
I can't tell.
Spot.
No,
That's
it's
a big spot.
Big old spot.
Big spotted
big old
bass.
spot. Let me lift him.
Let me lip him. There we got him. Look at this.
That's a fat spot, man.
Oh, mercy.
He ate that jig, didn't he?
Stacy, you have whacked yourself a big spotted bass. No, that's a 3-pounder.
Yeah.
And you're saying a 3-pounder is a big one for this lake.
Well, it's pretty good size. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of them any bigger than that.
Man,
Isn't that
look
pretty
at that
fish?
beautiful fish. All right, Stacy, so let me put this fish back right. What general advice could you give a guy that's never been on this lake?
You know, generally I try to contact someone at one of the local bait and tackle shops or talk to one of the guides at Big Cedar Lodge. They'll give you some ideas on where to go. You know, I always tell people the best thing to do, if you can afford to do it, get your guide the first day you come, because they'll take you out and show you a lot of stuff, show you a lot of, you know, the patterns are changing all the time depending on the season, and you need to kind of get an idea of what's going on.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Mercury, the official outboard of the Southwest Outdoors Report for 11 years running. By Academy, right stuff, low price, every day. By Tracker Boats, fish the finest. And by Whataburger, just like you like it.
There, just straight
Got
down.
one? Another one down.
Straight down.
Oh, that's a good
Big
one.
Big smallie.
Nice fish, man. Get him.
Come up here in
Yeah.
this boat with me.
Nice fat one.
You fat smallmouth from Table Rock right there. Hey everybody, I'm glad you're with us today because I'm doing actually one of the things that I love the very most. I get to fish all over the country really, particularly all around our southwest region. And of all the things I love to do, I love to catch smallmouth at Table Rock about as much as I love anything else anywhere. Fishing today with one of my great friends, Stacy King, who lives right on the lake. In fact, he showed me his house right up on the hill there. I'm gonna let that fish go back. Stacy, let's talk about the makeup of the fish population. What are the percentages of the different species of bass that are here?
Well, you know, anymore, it probably breaks down 35, 30, or somewhere in that neighborhood. You know, largemouth, there's less largemouth bass here than there are spotted bass and smallmouth bass. But we have an excellent population of really quality largemouth. You know, I'm talking 4, 5, 6, 7 pound bass, but there's not as many of them as there are the smallmouth and the spotted bass. And I just love to catch smallmouth, so it's just fun to come out, and there's so many good places for them. They love the kind of structure we have here, rocks and gravel, and that's conducive to smallmouth and spotted bass.
Actually, I got to go out yesterday. We're here for Tracker Media Day. Stacy and I both work in a media event out of Big Cedar Lodge. I got to take one of the new Bass Tracker Pro Team 175s out for a little demo ride yesterday. Caught a nice, actually I caught 3 spotted bass and a largemouth, though it's just a great lake to catch lots of different species of fish in. Okay, let's get you along for some more fishing reports, and let's go back down to Texas where Brian Hughes and Bill Olson have your fresh and saltwater reports respectively.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by GunSafesByKennedy'sCorner.com, your source for Cannon safes. Now, many of the lakes in Texas are beginning to look like the one behind me. The water's falling, it's getting harder and harder to find the fish. They're going deeper and deeper, and it's getting harder to launch your boat. One lake that can solve a lot of those problems is Caddo. It's a consistent bottom lake. It can't get any deeper than the 4 or 5 or 6 foot level that it's at. So, the fish can't run and hide in deeper water. They can only go into thicker cover, and that makes them easier to find. Go to the cypress knees, the lily pads, the grasses, and throw those jigs and Texas rigs up in there and work them slowly. The fish have to be there, and they have to bite eventually. Again, your jigs in black, blue, or even try a solid white with a white trailer, your Texas rigs with an 8-inch worm in your June bug, watermelon red, and/or red shad colors ought to work on Caddo Lake. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by GunSafesByKennedy'sCorner.com. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. You'll find him on the coast.
Hi folks, Texas Outdoors Journal brings you this week's report. Whether you fish or hunt in Texas, you should be reading Texas Outdoors Journal. Once again, named the best major outdoor publication in Texas. Pick up a copy of the October issue of Texas Outdoors Journal on newsstands with our annual statewide hunting forecast and fall fishing roundup. Or subscribe at the website on the screen, or call weekdays at 800-222-4TOJ. That's 800-222-4865. Well, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is coastal anglers may have to once again dodge some rain this weekend. However, the good news is that the cooler fronts continue to influence fishing as fall conditions are changing. Now, as we have already experienced when north or northeast winds blow, bait is dumped from the marshes into the bays, and that means some good bird activity on Sabine, Trinity, Galveston, and Matagorda bays. Also, speckled trout are starting to ease up from deeper reefs and feed along the shallow shorelines. Now, anglers drifting or wading these areas should score on an emerging topwater bite, soft plastics, and live shrimp or piggies. Also, the surf continues to be an option from Sabine to the National Seashore. Also along the beachfront, bull reds and sharks have kept anglers with larger reels busy. Now, from Port O'Connor southward, areas that drain back lakes have been good for redfish and speckled trout. Redfish also continue to move in schools along shorelines. The grassy shorelines from the JFK Causeway southward to Peta Island, along the King Ranch shoreline and around Rocky Slough are producing solid fish. From Port Mansfield to Port Isabel, sandy potholes are holding trout. South Bay and Mexiquita Flats are hot spots for both trout and reds. This weekend, Saturday has a single tide schedule of 1 high and 1 low tide. This Sunday has a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Our great gear giveaway for September is underway now, and you could win one of 2 Mercury gear packs that include a duffel, hoodie, and tournament shirt, or a Lose jersey autographed by me, or a Southwest Outdoors Report limited edition t-shirt. Enter right now either on our Facebook page or on the front page of our website. And if you share it with your friends, you'll get 2 more free entries for every one of your Facebook friends who enters.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Costa Sunglasses. See what's out there. By Lose, setting a new standard in fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Strand Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability. And by Strike King Lures, #1 in fishing.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Whataburger Ask the Pro, where viewers have a chance to get insider tips from professional anglers. This week's question is from Debbie in Oklahoma, who asks, will plastic lures still work in the fall? For the answer, let's ask the 2000 Bassmaster Classic champion, Woo Davis.
You know, the question is, do plastic baits work in the fall? And actually they work all year long. There's more fish caught on plastics than every other lure put together. And I always recommend that you learn to fish a plastic worm before you fish anything else. Fall fishing, I have a lot of luck with like a big worm, like the Zoom Monster, 10-inch old monster worm. Bigger worms seem to work good in the fall. But on the other turnaround, a lot of times you can take a little worm like a centipede or a French fry on a Carolina rig and do real good in the fall. But I find a bigger worm usually works the best.
Thanks, Woo. If you have a question for one of the pros, just visit our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com, follow the Ask the Pro link, and submit your information. Now here's Barry with our winner of the Costa Catch of the Week.
There's one. Oh, man. Oh, it's a big old spot. Look at him.
Another spotted bass.
Big old spot. Come here. Come on in here. Look at the size of that toad.
Look at the fatness on that little rascal. Oh, man.
Well, that's a nice one.
All right, Stacy.
Pretty spot. I'm going to release her.
Just one more to wrap it up. That one goes back. And we're done. And it's time right now for our Costa Catch of the Week winner. She is Priscilla Flores of San Antonio, Texas. Look at this, a 53-inch long king mackerel. She caught at the Near Rigs off Port Aransas, Texas. Now, if you'd like to have a chance to send in your big fish photo and win a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses, all you need to do is go to our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. The right-hand side of the page is the Costa Catch of the Week area. Click on that, follow the instructions, and you could be our next winner. Also, if you'd like to see all of the Costa frame and lens styles, go back to our front page, click on the Costa logo right in the middle of the screen, take you to their website where you can see all of their frame and lens styles, including the frame style I've been wearing on this week's episode, Salt Break. Time right now for the Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff feature, and I want to just show you quickly here the jig again. The key to catching these deep fish has been a heavy-headed jig. That is a big 1 ounce jig head. Now, that's a fairly uncommon jig head. Most people don't fish jigs that big. But when you're fishing 25 feet of water, you need a bait that will sink quickly, get down in contact with the bottom, and a bait that will stay in contact with that brush all the time you're there. That'll save a lot of time waiting for that bait to fall to the bottom. Next up on Stuff That Matters, if you watch our show regularly, you know how big I am on driving safety and not texting while you're driving. I have discovered the neatest app for your iPhone or your mobile device that will help you resist the urge to text and drive. It's called HeyTell. You can get it at the App Store, download it for free as of the time we shoot this show, and you will simply push one button, you speak your text message, and it will send your voice directly to your recipient. It won't translate it into text so that you have to edit it and all that. It'll simply send your voice message directly to the phone of the person that you're sending the text message to. Now, the key is that they have to have the HeyTell app as well. So take a look at it, have your friends download it. It is so easy while you're driving to be able to push that one button, send a text message quickly, conveniently, and much more safely than trying to type something while you're driving. Hey, don't forget to join us on next week's episode. We'll be on 10:30 Thursday night, 8 o'clock Saturday morning, and if that time ever changes, you'll be the first to know. Check out the front page of our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com, where you can also click on the YouTube link and go to all of our past archived episodes. Click on the Facebook logo to go to our page, see lots of news, video, and photos that you'll never see on the TV show because we just don't have time to get everything in. We've had an absolutely awesome day today with Stacy King, pro angler, and Stacy's headed back out into the tournament trail. But Stacy, I am so jealous of you living on this lake like this. This must be like a little piece of heaven.
You might as well retire and come on up here with me.
I'm not ready to retire yet,
Well.
and from the looks of things, you're not either. You're doing real well. But
absolutely not.
I know you got to feel blessed to live on a beautiful lake like Table Rock.
I'm just very fortunate. I've got to fish here all my life, basically, and I am blessed, truly blessed. But I'm glad you could come up and come back anytime. We're just, I'm glad to see you, and we always have a good time when we're fishing.
Absolutely do. Thank you, folks, for joining us today on one of my dream lakes in the entire United States. Come on up to Table Rock Lake. I promise you'll enjoy the experience. Until next week, from Branson, Missouri, I'm Barry Stokes. For Stacy King, be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.